Hello and welcome to Idea TV Midday News. I am Cynthia Basi. We begin with the headlines. Kaduna authorities dismiss reports of mass church abduction. Ogun boosts poultry capacity with new 1.3 million bed facility. India eyes African market as Iran unrest stalls rice exports. And away from Africa, Spain declares 3 days of mourning after deadly high-speed train crash. In business, WAEMU set to launch electronic bond trading platform. And CBN flags rising loan defaults as credit access improves. And in health, medical directors urge due process in ADICHIE negligence probe. And still in health, OBASANJO named National Child Advocate. And in sports, Super Eagles hit 16-year high in latest FIFA rankings. Still in sport, Abuja National Stadium upgrades to cost 24 billion naira in 2026 budget. And now the news in full. The Kaduna State Government and the State Police Command have officially dismissed reports claiming that over 100 worshippers were abducted from 2 churches in Kajuru local government area. Police Commissioner Mohammed Rabiu, speaking yesterday after a State Security Council meeting, described the allegations as a total falsehood orchestrated by conflict entrepreneurs intended to destabilize the state. The commissioner challenged those spreading the claims to provide the identities of the alleged victims, warning that the full weight of the law will be brought against rumor-mongers. The denial follows a distress call on Sunday from the Northern Christian Association of Nigeria, which alleged that gunmen stormed 2 Cherubim and Seraphim churches in Kurminwali. According to the association, 163 people remained in captivity after 8 others escaped. However, the chairman of Kajuru local government area, Dauda Madaki, stated that an immediate physical assessment of the village and interviews with the village head and youth leaders showed no evidence of any attack or missing persons. The opposition People's Democratic Party has since waded into the controversy, calling for a comprehensive rescue operation and criticizing the federal government for failing to protect the constitutional right to worship. Despite the political outcry, the Kaduna State government maintains that the reports are completely false and has reassured residents of its zero-tolerance policy toward criminality, urging the public to remain calm and go about their lawful activities. Moving on, the Ogun State government has moved to drastically cut Nigeria's reliance on imported poultry. Speaking earlier today, the Commissioner of Agriculture, Bolu Owotomo, unveiled a new processing facility at the Ajegunle farm settlement capable of handling over 1 million additional beds every year. The 5,000 bed per day plant is part of a wider push to revitalize local farming, with Nigeria currently importing 70% of its poultry. Officials say this infrastructure, which includes blast freezers and new industrial pens, will finally bridge the gap between local supply and the high demand of chicken across the region. The project is one of 28 agricultural initiatives completed by the state over the last 2 years. By encouraging private investors to take ownership of these facilities, the government aims to curb post-harvest losses and significantly improve the incomes of the 400 resident farmers now operating within the hub. Moving ahead, India is pivoting its global rice strategy today as escalating civil unrest and economic instability in Iran bring basmati shipments to a near standstill. The Indian Rice Exporters Federation confirms that over 1,500 crore rupees worth of grain is currently stored at Iranian ports. With the Iranian rial plunging and new United States tariffs looming, importers in Tehran are reportedly unable to honor payments, forcing Indian traders to reassess their decades-long reliance on the Iranian market. To mitigate these mounting financial risks, Indian exporters are now aggressively targeting alternative markets across Africa, West Asia, and Europe. Industry leaders identified Africa, and specifically Nigeria, as a primary destination for the nation's massive rice surplus. As one of the world's largest importers, Nigeria presents a strategic opportunity for India to stabilize its exports revenue while addressing the continent's growing demand for food staples. The global shift marks a significant realignment in global trade. Iran, once the top buyer of Indian basmati, has now slipped to third place following years of decline in volumes. With global rice production expected to hit record highs this season, Indian officials are moving quickly to secure these new corridors, ensuring that domestic farmers remain protected from the volatility currently gripping the Gulf region. We'll now go on a quick break. The news continues when we return.
Blockchain technology. Blockchain is most commonly associated with cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, but its potential goes far beyond that. Blockchain offers a decentralized, secure, and transparent way to record transactions, which is being applied in industries like finance, supply chain management, and healthcare. For instance, blockchain can verify the origin of products and supply chains or ensure the integrity of medical records. But blockchain still faces hurdles. Its energy consumption and scalability are major issues. By 2025, the blockchain market is expected to grow to $39.7 billion, but widespread adoption will depend on overcoming these challenges.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Idea TV Midday News. Now, the rest of the news. Away from Africa, Spain is observing 3 days of national mourning after a high-speed train crash in southern Spain killed at least 40 people and injured more than 100 others. The collision happened on Sunday evening near Adamos, close to the city of Cordoba, making it the country's deadliest rail accident in over a decade. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez announced the mourning period and visited the crash site on Monday, pledging a full and transparent investigation. The transport minister said most victims were in the front carriages of the Madrid to Huelva train, which was struck after a Malaga to Madrid service derailed and crossed onto the opposite track. Investigators are examining a possible fault on the rail, though officials say it is too early to confirm the cause. High-speed rail services between Madrid and several southern cities remain suspended as rescue teams continue recovery efforts and hospitals treat the injured. Now in business news, Regional Financial Agency UMOA Teachers is set to launch a new electronic trading platform this Thursday, January the 22nd this year. Known as UT Much, the system is designed to digitize the secondary market for government bonds across the West Africa Economic and Monetary Union. This move transitions the region away from private bilateral deals towards a centralized digital hub for sovereign debt. The launch comes as trading activity in the region reaches record levels. In 2025, secondary market volumes surged by 57%, with over 5,400 billion CFA in securities traded. The new platform aims to capitalize on this momentum by providing banks and institutional investors with real-time data on yields and prices. By introducing a transparent price formation mechanism, authorities hope to significantly improve liquidity for member states. UT Much will serve as a shared infrastructure for authorized participants, ensuring that government securities remain a reliable and visible assets class for regional financing. Now, still in business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria says credit availability improved across key lending segments in the fourth quarter of 2025, even as loan defaults rose among households and businesses. The findings are contained in the CBN's fourth quarter credit conditions survey released today. The Apex Bank reports that households face higher borrowing costs while corporate borrowers recorded mixed pricing conditions. Although banks expanded secured, unsecured, and corporate lending, lenders also recorded increased defaults across all major loan categories, raising concerns about repayment risk. The CBN says the trend reflects banks cautiously supporting economic activity after the September policy rate cut while managing inflation, pressures, and rising operating costs. It adds that lenders are balancing growth ambitions with tighter risk controls as monetary conditions remain sensitive. And now in health news, the Guild of Medical Directors has called for calm and professional decorum as investigations continue into the death of Nkanu Nnamdi, the 21-month-old son of celebrated author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. The toddler passed away on Wednesday, the 7th of January, at a Lagos hospital following alleged complications from an MRI procedure. While Adichie has publicly alleged criminal negligence involving an overdose of sedation, the Guild is urging Nigerians to avoid trial by social media and allow regulatory bodies to establish the facts. The Guild's national president, Dr. Abiodun Koti, emphasized today that while every family deserves transparency and justice, healthcare providers must also be guaranteed due process to protect the integrity of the medical system. He warned that premature public condemnation could erode trust in local institutions and worsen the nation's medical tourism crisis. The medical body is instead advocating for a national health care compact to bridge gaps in emergency protocols and clinical standards between private and public sectors. In response to the tragedy, the federal government has moved to establish a national task force on clinical governance and patient safety. The Health Minister, Professor Ali Pate, stated that the initiative aims to institutionalize high-quality, people-centered care to prevent future medical errors. The task force is expected to align Nigeria's safety mechanisms with global standards, ensuring that accountability remains firm where negligence is proven. Still in health news, the Pediatric Association of Nigeria has named former President Olusegun Obasanjo as a national advocate for child welfare. During a visit to his Abeokuta residence yesterday, the association's president, Professor Ekanem Ekure, conferred the role on the elder statesman, citing his moral authority as vital to tackling Nigeria's worsening child mortality rates. Accepting the mantle, Chief Obasanjo described children as the bedrock of society's future and pledged his full support to improving healthcare access. He urged pediatricians to maintain high professional standards, noting that their work requires unique compassion since young patients cannot communicate their pain like adults. The appointment comes as the association prepares for its annual conference in Abeokuta starting tomorrow. Medical experts warn that Nigeria faces a national emergency, losing over 800 newborns daily to preventable causes. The upcoming summit will focus on using technology and innovative funding to get the country back on track towards meeting global health goals. And now in sport, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have soared to 26th in the latest FIFA World Rankings, their highest position in 16 years. This significant climb follows an impressive campaign at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, where the team secured a bronze medal. The FIFA confirmed today that Nigeria gained over 79 ranking points, the highest increase of any nation in this update. The tournament in Morocco has reshaped the continental standings, with the hosts breaking into the world top 10 for the first time since 1998. Tournament winners Senegal also reached the national best, rising to 12th place. Nigeria's ascent was filled by 6 wins during the ranking window, including a dominant 4-0 victory over Mozambique and a quarter-final win against Algeria. Despite a semi-final defeat to Morocco on penalties, the Eagles recovered to defeat Egypt in the third-place playoff. Africa now boasts 9 teams in the world's top 50, reflecting a period of significant growth for the continent's football. The next set of official world rankings is scheduled for release on April 1st. And now still in sports news, the federal government has earmarked over 24 billion naira for the rehabilitation of the Moshood Abiola Stadium or National Stadium in Abuja as part of a 203 billion naira budget allocated to the National Sports Commission in the 2026 appropriation bill. The allocation, approved under President Bola Tinubu's budget of restoration, covers the first phase of upgrading the stadium's main bowl, completion of a high-performance athletes center, and construction of a new sports secretariat. The project is overseen by the National Sports Commission chaired by Shehu Diko. The move follows years of infrastructure decline at the stadium, which has been unfit for major competitions despite past renovations. The upgrade is aimed at restoring the facility to international standards, boosting athlete performance and supporting Nigeria's preparation for major global sporting events. And that's all we have for you on Idea TV Midday News. But before we go, here is a recap of the headlines. We brought you news that Kaduna's authorities dismiss reports of mass church abduction. And OGUN boosts poultry capacity with new 1.3 million bed facility, while India eyes African markets as Iranian unrest stalls rice exports. And away from Africa, Spain declares 3 days of mourning after deadly high-speed train crash. In business, WAEMU set to launch electronic bond trading platform. And still in business, CBN flags rising loan defaults as credit access improves. While in health, medical directors urge due process in ADICHIE negligence probe, and OBASANJO named National Child Advocate. In sport, Super Eagles hit 16-year high in latest FIFA rankings, and ABUJA National Stadium upgrade to cost 24 billion naira in 2026 budget. And now do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Cynthia Bassi. Thank you for your time.